Welcome back to the next edition of our Butler Inventor Playground. Today we're going to take a look at how to create the monkey bar ladder in Autodesk Inventor. If you take a look at our drawing, our plan, our multi-view drawing that's here, we have a rectangle, but this is going vertical, tall. And if we take a look at our top view, we can see that this distance across is 6 inches. And the length of our monkey bar ladder is 90 inches tall. So once again, 6 by 90. Let's create that first. We're going to go up to the top, orange file. We're going to go to new, and we're going to create standard IPT. And click create. Starting with a 2D sketch, the drawing with the green plus mark here in the left hand corner of our ribbon bar, we're going to select our XY plane and click front in our world view cube. We're going to use our rectangle tool, and once again let's reference our drawing. The width across this is 6 inches and the height of our monkey bar ladder is 90 inches. Back to our part, get our rectangle tool from the create menu in our ribbon bar, green dot right on top of our origin, click and stretch out a rectangle. Take your hand off your mouse. The distance we're going to type going across is 6 inches. Press the tab key, and the height of this part is going to be 90 inches. And press enter on the keyboard. Press the escape key to let go of your rectangle tool. And you can see our rectangle here, but it's kind of off of our screen. So let's click front in our world view cube to zoom all. Or you could also click magnifying glass piece of paper in order to zoom out. Okay, we have our overall profile of our part created. Let's green check mark finish sketch. Click home so that we can see all of our part. And then let's go back to our drawing. If we take a look at our top view once again, the width is 6, but it's also extruded back 6 inches here, and we see that on our plan right here. So let's go extrude this part. We're going to extrude. We want it to go in a flip direction so that that orange arrow is pointing away from us. So let's flip that around. And our distance we're going to change to 6 inches right here. And once you have those created or selected, flip direction and 6 inches, click OK. Next, let's take a look at those holes. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes going vertical, and we're going to use the rectangular pattern to do that. The hole is 2 inches in diameter. It is 3 inches in from the side and 10 inches up from the bottom. Okay, so let's use our point tool to locate that point. So we're going to take a 2D sketch, place it on our front view. And we're going to take our point tool, just place a point anywhere on your part right here. Press the escape key. Now we're going to dimension. We're going to dimension from the bottom of our part to the point. When it turns red, click to select them. And this dimension is 10 inches. Click the green check mark or press enter on the keyboard. We also have another dimension to place on here from the right hand side of our part to the point. Bring this dimension down, and this dimension is 3 inches. Press enter on the keyboard or the green check mark. Green check mark finish sketch. We have that point listed on there. Now we're going to take and use our hole tool. So let's take a look at our drawing again. It's a 2-inch diameter hole. And from this note, it says the holes are cut all the way through. So let's get our hole tool from the modify section in our ribbon bar. We want to start out with a simple hole, no seat, and we want it through all. So the icon that looks like a stack of pancakes with a fork stabbed in the middle of it, that is through all. And now we need to change diameter to 2 inches. And then click OK. So we have our hole in there. That looks great. Now let's take a look at the business of getting the rest of them in here as well. It says use rectangular pattern. We want to have a count of 6 and a spacing of 10. So let's go back to our part. we're going to come up to the top in our patterns section. We find our rectangular pattern. There's also a circular pattern. Make sure you're choosing rectangular pattern. When this menu opens up, the first thing it wants us to do, we want to select the feature. That's the hole we created. So it's already highlighted blue, so let's come over here by our part, click your hole. When it highlights red, click to select it. You can tell it's selected because it is now highlighted in blue or emphasized in blue. Next, we're going to come over here to direction number 1. Click on the direction number 1 arrow, and I want to have my vertical long side of the monkey bar ladder selected, the edge. Okay, now once again, this arrow is pointing down. We want that arrow to go up the direction that the holes are going to go. So I'm going to take and use my arrow right here to flip that around this icon. Now that arrow is pointing up. Okay, back at my drawing, I want to have a count of 6 and a spacing of 10. Okay, so here, my count, I'm going to change to 6, and my spacing, I'm going to change to 10. So let's take a look at this again. I have my feature selected, that was my hole. I selected my direction, that's the edge, the corner of my monkey bar ladder. I have my count at 6 and my spacing at 10. I also have my arrow flipped so that it goes up. That's this icon right here. If your holes are going down, we need to change that and flip them to make sure they're going up. Then click OK. Alright, we have our monkey bar ladder created. Let's save it. Go up to the orange file in the top left hand corner of the screen. Click on File. Go down to Save As. Make sure you're in your H drive. First initial last name 000. And part 15 is not a good name for this part. Let's call it Monkey Bar Ladder. And click Save. Excellent. Now that you have the monkey bar ladder saved, we're going to move on to the next part, a fun one, this tunnel slide. We'll see you at the next episode. Congratulations on getting your monkey bar ladder completed.